Be calm and sleep.
Maybe you've seen one of the millions of videos devoted to ASMR on the internet, or perhaps you experienced the brain tingles yourself. Here's what you need to know about the phenomenon. ASMR has gone mainstream. In 2019, a Michelob Ultra Super Bowl commercial starring Zoe Kravitz had her whispering and acting out other ASMR triggers, like tapping a Michelob bottle. The ad agency responsible for the spots even consulted with Craig Richard. Other companies that have created ASMR content include KFC, IKEA, Dove, and Ritz Crackers. ASMR has been used in popular music. In his 2014 song Terrors in My Head, DEADMAU5 used a clip of Murray of the YouTube channel Gentle Whispering saying, "Good morning to you," among other things. People with ASMR have reported that they can become desensitized to triggers over time. In a survey conducted by Richard with 19,000 respondents, 40% claimed that they had become desensitized to a trigger. People who experience ASMR are more susceptible to misophonia, where sounds trigger negative responses. Misophonia often manifests as a hatred for sounds made by human mouths. Scientists are looking into the connection between the two. One study suggested that ASMR and misophonia represent two ends of the same spectrum of sound sensitivity. More than 13 million ASMR videos have been uploaded to YouTube. As of 2021, ASMR was the third most popular YouTube search of all time, according to SEMrush. There are 10.8 million posts under the ASMR tag on Instagram. There are non-video ASMR triggers, too. Even though we probably know it best from videos, the sensation happens in real life as well. Some people feel the response while getting a manicure or a haircut. The Hawaiian alphabet contains only 13 letters. The Hawaiian alphabet contains a total of 5 vowels that are both long and short. It also contains a total of 8 consonants. Hawaii's alphabet represents all the basic sounds and phonemes in their language. The blood of lobsters is colorless. However, when their blood is exposed to oxygen, it becomes a blue color. This is mainly due to the copper that is found present in the blue hemocyanin molecule in their blood. Now that's some cool scientific did you know facts. The most commonly used letter in the English alphabets is E. The second most common letters are T, A, I, N, and O. The least used letter in the English alphabets is the letter Q. Around 8% of the world population has an extra rib. This is known as the cervical rib, and it comes from the 7th cervical vertebra. This is considered a congenital abnormality that is located above the normal first rib. There is a 1 in 500 chance that a person will be born with this condition. Spiders are not insects. All insects are classified as 6-legged creatures with a head and thorax and wings. Spiders are arachnids and only have 2 body parts: the cephalothorax and its 8 legs, and its abdomen. Australia is the only continent without an active volcano. The nearest active volcanoes are located off the continent of Australia, but are still within its territory. One is located on Head Island and the other on McDonald Islands. The reason why Australia does not have any active volcanoes located on the continent is that it isn't on a plate boundary. Honey never spoils. Here's one of our sweetest did you know facts about food. When honey is heated and strained and sealed properly, it will not be able to absorb moisture and therefore will stay as it is forever. The oldest jar of honey ever found is stated to be over 5,500 years old today. Is that QR code safe? What to check for before scanning? A QR code is a type of barcode that can store a lot of information in a small package. Do you know? QR stands for Quick Response and was created by the Japanese corporation Denso Wave in 1994. Scanning a QR code can be a convenient way to access additional information, make a payment, or take advantage of a special offer. However, you should take the time to educate yourself on what to look for when scanning a QR code to ensure you are doing it safely. In this guide, we will cover 5 important things to know before scanning a QR code to help you stay safe and secure. With these tips, you will be able to make the most out of scanning QR codes and ensure all your transactions are safe and secure. QR codes are able to store text, URLs, contact information, calendar events, health information, and more. They can be used for a wide range of purposes, from accessing additional information about a product to connecting with friends to making a payment. While scanning a QR code can be a convenient way to access information, make payments, and more, there are some risks that come along with it as well. QR codes are often used to distribute spam or links to malicious websites that could steal your information. These types of QR codes can be found on flyers, magazines, or product packaging. Some scammers are even creating their own QR codes that appear to be legitimate but are actually linking to malicious content. Turn off your location settings. A common practice among scammers is to create malicious QR codes that rely on your device's GPS or location settings to determine what content is displayed. This type of QR code will often display a malicious message if it detects that you are in a place that gets a lot of foot traffic, such as a busy city. Before you scan a QR code, be sure to turn off your location settings so that malicious QR codes won't be able to access your information. Look for secure payments. If you do plan on scanning QR codes, you may come across some that are used for payment purposes. Before scanning these QR codes, be sure to check that they are secure. You can do this by looking for a padlock icon on the device where you are scanning the code or reading the URL to make sure it's for a legitimate website. If you don't see either of these, it is likely a payment QR code and should be avoided. Make sure the QR code is at a safe distance from other text. Scammers will often place their QR codes right next to legitimate text to make them appear more authentic. This can be a sign that the QR code is malicious. Check the URL before scanning. Before you scan a QR code, take a few seconds to check the URL to make sure it's legitimate. Scanning app or browser. If you are scanning a QR code with a website URL, try scanning the code directly through your scanning app or browser. Check the website domain. If the QR code has a website URL and you are concerned that it may be malicious, try Googling the domain to see if it's an actual website. If it is, you can scan the code using your browser instead of using the QR code. With these tips in mind, you can safely scan QR codes and use this technology for good. Sudan has more pyramids than any country in the world. Not only does Sudan have more pyramids than Egypt, but the numbers aren't even close. While 138 pyramids have been discovered in Egypt, Sudan boasts around 255. The bumblebee bat is the world's smallest mammal. weighing in at 0.05 to 0.07 ounces, with a head-to-body length of 1.14 to 1.29 inches, and a wingspan of 5.1 to 5.7 inches. The bumblebee bat, also known as kitti's hog-nosed bat, is the smallest mammal in the world, according to the Guinness Book of World Records. The circulatory system is more than 60,000 miles long. If a child's entire circulatory system, we're talking veins, arteries, and capillaries, were laid out flat, it would stretch for more than 60,000 miles, according to the Franklin Institute. By the time we reach adulthood, our bodies have become home to approximately 100,000 miles of blood vessels. The Philippines consists of 7,641 islands. The Philippines is an archipelago, which means it's made up of a group of islands, 7,641 islands, to be exact. That figure does not include the thousands of sandbars and other landforms that emerge during low tide. A one-way trip on the Trans-Siberian Railway involves crossing 3,901 bridges. Not only is the Trans-Siberian Railway the longest railroad in Russia, but it's also the longest one in the world. The journey takes 7 days, during which time passengers pass through 8 different time zones and cross 3,901 bridges. There's enough gold inside Earth to coat the planet. Turns out, there's quite a bit of gold on, or really, in our planet. 99% of the precious metal can be found in the Earth's core, Discover magazine reports. How much is there? Enough to coat the entire surface of the Earth in 1.5 feet of gold. Cleveland was once the country's 5th largest city. Data from the 1920 U.S. Census indicates that Cleveland, Ohio, was one of the most heavily populated cities in the country, behind only Detroit, Philadelphia, Chicago, and New York City. Human beings can use only a small fraction of Earth's water. In school, we were taught that most, specifically, 71% of the planet's surface is covered in water. While that's true, humans can use only 0.007% of that water, according to National Geographic. That's because only about 2.5% of Earth's water is freshwater, and only 1% of that is accessible. The rest makes up glaciers and snowfields. It takes a drop of water 90 days to travel the entire Mississippi River. Spanning 2,340 miles, the Mississippi River is the 3rd largest watershed in the world. That's one long stretch of water. So long, in fact, that it takes one drop of water approximately 90 days to travel its entire length. People once ate arsenic to improve their skin. You've probably heard about how a lot of the Victorians' favorite cosmetics were riddled with arsenic, but it gets worse. There were also products on the market in the late 19th century, like Dr. James P. Campbell's Safe Arsenic Complexion wafers, that were meant to be eaten. They claimed to get rid of freckles, blackheads, and other facial disfigurements. The first person processed at Ellis Island was a 15-year-old girl from Ireland. On January 1, 1892, Annie Moore was the first passenger to disembark at Ellis Island on its opening day. She had traveled to the United States with her 2 younger brothers aboard the SS Nevada after departing from Queenstown, Ireland, now known as Cobb. The Pyramids of Giza are one of the top tourist sites in the world. It's became one of the main appeals for travelers to visit Egypt. This bucket list historical site is located in the northern region of the country, on the western bank of the Nile River. There are a total of 9 pyramids, but you'll find the 3 largest and most famous ones on the Giza Plateau. Don't forget to visit the Great Sphinx too, which is the largest monolith statue in the world. If you're eager to visit the pyramids, here are 5 facts to discover before your trip commences. The pyramids of Giza were built more than 1,200 years before the rule of King Tut. The Great Pyramid of Giza is a UNESCO-listed World Heritage Site, the oldest and last remaining of the original 7 wonders of the world. Additionally, this pyramid is the oldest and largest of all 9 pyramids found at the Giza necropolis, and is the final resting place of King Khufu. The pyramid was completed in 2560 BC and took around 20 years to build. The Great Pyramid of Giza is 481 feet tall. The Great Pyramid was the tallest building in the world for 3,800 years. In fact, the first building to surpass its height was the Lincoln Cathedral in England, constructed in 1311. In comparison, the pyramids of Khafre is 448 feet tall, which is about 100 feet taller than the Statue of Liberty. The third main pyramid, the Pyramid of Menkaure, is much shorter at 213 feet. This is about the same height as the famous aisles on Australia's Sydney Opera House. The pyramids were built by the Egyptian people themselves. Egyptologists are not 100% sure how the pyramids were built, but the most popular belief is that they were constructed by the Egyptian people as an act of civil service. In fact, experts believe that 20,000–30,000 skilled masons, engineers, architects, surveyors and other craftsmen constructed the Khufu temple. Furthermore, historians have estimated that over 100,000 construction workers were involved in the overall construction of the pyramids of Giza. Also, each limestone block weighs 2 tons, so it's hard to fathom how the people were able to lift them and form such perfect pyramids. However, some scholars have a theory that a ramp and pulley system was used to complete the mission. The Great Pyramid used to have an invisible door. It's believed that the pyramid once had an invisible swivel door weighing almost 20 tons. Interestingly, it could only be identified and opened from the inside. It's no surprise, then, that the door was so heavy that the opening mechanism was only discovered when scientists were studying the Great Pyramid. The Egyptians' ability to create and manage this effective feature has remained a mystery to date. The chambers of the pyramids are empty. The tombs under the pyramids initially stored human remains and gifts that their spirits would take with them to the afterlife. This was extremely common in the 9th century. However, once the pyramids were opened to the public, a lot of looting left the chambers bare, apart from Khufu's red granite sarcophagus. You may love your cat, but you may not be fully aware of just how cool your she and her overall species really is. For example, did you know that cats have an extra organ that allows them to taste scents? Or that they developed meowing as a way to communicate exclusively with humans? Clearly, there's more to your little feline friend than meets the eye. So, to help you fully appreciate how awesome cats are, we asked cat care professionals namely, cat sitters, boarders, and groomers to share their favorite fun facts about these mystical creatures. We then pulled together a list of the 101 most amusing cat facts that you can share with your friends and family. A house cat's genome is 95.6% tiger, and they share many behaviors with their jungle ancestors, says Layla Morgan Wild, a cat behavior expert and the founder of Cat Wisdom 101. These behaviors include scent marking by scratching, prey play, prey stalking, pouncing, chinning, and urine marking. A green cat was born in Denmark in 1995. Some people believe that high levels of copper in the water pipes nearby may have given his fur a verdigris effect. It turns out that Abraham Lincoln was a crazy cat president. He had 4 cats that lived in the White House with him. Maria Assunta left her cat, Tommaso, her entire $13 million fortune when she died in 2011. President Bill Clinton's cat, Socks, was a media darling during the Clinton administration and was said to receive more letters than the president himself. Stubbs, a 17-year-old orange tabby, is mayor of the historic district of Talkeetna, Alaska. Other surprising cat facts you didn't know: a cat's learning style is about the same as a 2 to 3-year-old child. A cat's purr vibrates at a frequency of 25 to 150 Hz, which is the same frequency at which muscles and bones repair themselves. A group of kittens is called a kindle. A house cat could beat superstar runner Usain Bolt in the 200-meter dash. About half of the cats in the world respond to the scent of catnip. Cat breeders are called catteries. Cats can be toilet trained. Cats can drink seawater in order to survive. In case you're wondering, we can't. Cats don't have an incest taboo, so they may choose to mate with their brothers and sisters. Cats dream, just like people do. Cats have contributed to the extinction of 33 different species. Cats perceive people as big, hairless cats, says Wild. Cats were first brought to the Americas in colonial times to get rid of rodents. Collective nouns for adult cats include clouter, clutter, glaring, and pounce. Each cat's nose print is unique, much like human fingerprints. Every Scottish fold cat in the world can trace its heritage back to the first one, which was found in Scotland in the 1960s, says Cheryl Hogan, a Scottish fold breeder and the committee chair for the breed at the International Cat Association, TICA. It's not uncommon to see cats in food stores in big cities as a form of free and adorable pest control. Kittens in the same litter can have more than one father. This is because the female cat releases multiple eggs over the course of a few days when she is in heat. Male cats are the most sensitive to catnip, while kittens under 3 months old have no response at all. Most world languages have a similar word to describe the meow sound. People often think that they've stumbled over a purebred as a stray or in a shelter, but Hogan says that this is very uncommon. 99 times out of 100 what you have found on the street will not be purebred anything, she says. Very seldom do breeders sell kittens that are not already spayed or neutered, as purebred cats need to meet very strict standards. Some 700 million feral cats live in the United States, and many shelters run trap-neuter-release programs to stem the population growth. Studies suggest that domesticated cats first appeared around 3600 BC. The first known cat video was recorded in 1894. There are about 88 million pet cats in the United States, which makes them the most popular pet in the country. 200 feral cats prowl the park at Disneyland, doing their part to control rodents, the ones who don't wear funny outfits and speak in squeaky voices. White cats with blue eyes are prone to deafness.